every conspiracy theory that we thought we had last 2 years have become conspiracy facts.
Huh, ain't that the truth? And one of those topics that's becoming conspiracy fact for many people is how the Federal Reserve, and not just the Fed, but how central banking itself is being used worldwide to undermine our society. And not just the Federal Reserve, but we have countries like China that are being used by the globalist powers in their quests for world domination. This deep state, folks, truly transnational, worldwide, with how it's infected things. So to talk about these things, I invited an individual on by the name of Bob Kudla from Trade Genius Academy. He studies world markets and he studies economics. So we talk about China, we talk about the Federal Reserve and their situation with America, situation with President Trump. And we also talk about how we can use currencies like gold and silver, currencies like crypto, to take back our power, take back our freedom of currency, and have things of value that we can begin to trade with again. Check it out. China and the Federal Reserve, two topics that have been in the news a lot lately, and two organizations or two groups that President Trump has been very outspoken against. So what is President Trump doing with precious metals and with cryptocurrency to combat these organizations getting political against him?
Yeah, so what's really interesting is that I think they're all connected. You know, you got the European elites, right? You have the central banks, you have China. And all of them had this nice thing going for probably the last 20 years, and it's been slowly hollowing out the United States, deindustrializing us, turning us into just some, third world nation. We're actually a colony of China. And then what happened here was that you have Trump coming in because the people just had enough of it. Also, Boris in England, and you have the Yellow Jackets in France. So people are saying, and then, five star in Italy, people are saying enough's enough. You guys stole enough from us. And so Trump was the one that was just very vocal. He said, look, the only way that you can combat these guys is like disinfectant. You got to put it out into the light, because if you try to play their game, they'll out narrative you. They'll always have like this really nice counterpoint where Trump says, I'm just blowing up the gold mine here. So he blew China up. So China's now constantly after his narrative. And then you got the central banks, because if you notice, what happened was they had the guy Dudley. He was in charge of the New York Fed when Trump got elected. He's now exposed himself as a leftist, a globalist leftist. There's no more conspiracy theories about the central banks in the world. He came out and wrote an op-ed piece saying that elections are within his purview. And then you could say he was New York Fed chairman, and they started raising interest rates. So they're immediately trying to put Trump on the defensive. And then because Trump's been hammering them so hard on this, he's not going to let them blame Trump for the recession. He's going to say it just falls on the central bankers. They don't like it. And then finally, Dudley blew up. Trump lives rent-free in all these guys' heads. He has an ability to get these guys to say stupid things that are the truth.
And they expose themselves.
Each and every time. So every conspiracy theory that we thought we had last 2 years have become conspiracy facts. And that's what's happening. So now the central bank is stuck, and now Dudley's stuck. Because right now, if the stock market crashed, Trump is saying, look, not me. Central banks told you that they want me to lose this election. Blame them for your 401k getting crushed. So now the Federal Reserve is going to have to lower interest rates. If they don't, Trump's going to just put on the political heat. And he did the same thing to China. And China and the elites and the corporate elites all had this great thing going, and he's blowing it up. He's saying, you know what, the American people first, Wall Street, China elite, central banks second. Same thing's happening over in England with Boris. They're trying to make this guy into an idiot. But this guy's freaking Mensa, okay? And he's quick, and he knows what he's doing, and they're gonna blow away from Europe too. So Europe might be left hanging here, okay? Which is gonna be really fascinating to see. They have a currency that has no sovereign behind it, no military, no backstop, and it could just disintegrate. And it's gonna leave the US standing tall, because China's in big trouble too. And we're the only ones still with a positive interest rate. So money's pouring into the country. So we're going to have a good guy there. We're going to have interest rates fall, and people are just flocking to gold, silver, and the miners. So it's a beautiful thing how this is playing out. So I just love it when the light of day shows up.
I always appreciate your knowledge of these worldwide markets, how you're able to see things globally and how all these little pieces affect each other. And how does China affect the price of crypto here?
Yeah, so what's happening is there's only very few ways for the Chinese elite to get their money out. And now with Hong Kong blowing up, okay, so that's a big problem for them too, because that's where they've been laundering a lot of their cash, is that they have cryptocurrency. So every time we started seeing the devaluation in the China yuan, you started seeing the cryptocurrency Bitcoin rise. There's a reason why it went from 3,000 to 13,000 this year. The Chinese own most of the mining activity and the nodes, and they've been buying, okay? And it gives them their money outside of the country immediately. So if they smell something going on, they just take a trip to one of their subsidiaries and don't come back. And all their assets are sitting in Bitcoin where the government can't get to it. You know, you can't hustle out gold like that. You can't hustle out silver or cash. But Bitcoin, just a press of a button, and you're out of the renminbi or the yuan, and you're into crypto. And so that's what's happening. So every time you're going to see some more like turmoil in China, you'll see Bitcoin move. And it's not just there too. You know, Turkey, Argentina, Venezuela, Zambia, Ghana, they closed the banks. People put their money in the banks, they closed the banks. And so when people have and understand what Bitcoin can do to protect them, it's just going to support the cryptocurrency world, Bitcoin specifically, in my view.
Fantastic news. And in your eyes, do you see President Trump winning this trade war against China and defeating this back and forth with the Federal Reserve?
Yeah, he already won the trade war with China.
Yeah.
He won it the minute he started it because the math is there. No matter what they try to pitch you, China's in deep weeds. You know, they had a 6-to-1 trade imbalance with us, so we couldn't lose it. Trump was right, and he just keeps ratcheting it up. He's going to do it until people move their supply chains out of China, and then China's sitting there with a whole lot of unemployed people, and they're going to be short dollars, and they're going to have to import food. So China, he already won China. He's just going to rope-a-dope China, and now the Federal Reserve, by the time he gets going to the election season, he'll either have the Federal Reserve doing what he wants, or he's going to have the American people so mad at the Federal Reserve that he's going to force Congress to do things. So they Dudley put a nail in the coffin for the Federal Reserve, and now Trump just has to keep pushing forward on this.
Your guess, what's the price of crypto and gold and silver by the end of the year?
Well, I would say in the next 12 months for crypto, we're speculating that it should be between 30 and 35,000. And then for gold and silver is definitely going to be over 20 here pretty quickly. So silver will be in the 20s, maybe in low 30s by next 12 months. And gold will be, over 2,000. And those are probably conservative, but we trade the miners as much as we trade the physical, and those are already up 100%, and we see another 100 to 200% move in those. So that's where the big money is going to be made. And just this last week, we've made double digit on all our miners that we bought just a week prior. So we've been scaling in and out of these, Jordan, and then we'll be moving back in big again in the next week or two, and just keep climbing the wall here and just making some really good money. We've been averaging 10% gains on our trades, and we've been to trades on an average of a week. So things are going really well. It's our algorithms are finding them, and then we just go ahead and push those notifications out, and then we help our subscribers manage the trade, and then we move on into the next trade and just rinse and repeat. Same with crypto.
So you have these algorithms, and it sounds like you have these different tools. What exactly are these tools that you help people trade with?
Yeah, so we have indicators that we push out, but then we also have an indicator that we have on a software package called TradingView, which is a cloud-based system on the web. They have a free version, and then you can go ahead and download from their app right into the software our buy and sell signals.
Awesome. So for somebody that's not plugged in all the time into watching the markets or the prices, they get text messages or notifications right on their phone, right? That basically tells them what to do.
Exactly.
Perfect. Awesome. And where can they find this? Where can they find you, Bob?
Yeah, tradelikeagenius.com. They can get a bundle. We have specials running, Jordan, that we always do for you for Saturday night, pre-discounted, and really good ROI for people. What we pay for the system and the service pales in comparison to what you're going to make from it. And you go to tradelikeagenius.com. They have bundles depending on your level of expertise or what you like to trade. And we even also offer coaching, and we offer education depending on what you're looking to get out of it. And then we have 2 trading rooms that are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that people can just go in there, ask any questions you want. I'm in there all the time. That's why we do these interviews in the afternoon, because 5 in the morning to 1 p.m. my time, Pacific Coast, I'm in that room. And so people can avail themselves to me all the time. And so works out really well. We help people really understand what's going on. And then once people get it, they become more effective traders and they become more independent. And we feel that's a win for them and win for us too.
That's fantastic, because for somebody like me that's not too familiar with cryptocurrency, having you and that tool and those apps to hold somebody's hand through the process sounds fantastic. So thank you, Bob. I appreciate the time that you spent with me here and all the knowledge that you gave us. And we'll be seeing you again soon, my friend.